Mark Tatum, Deputy Commissioner and COO of the National Basketball Association.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here with you all.
Dr. Richard Lapchick, thanks for being with us here on R&R on Sports.
Thank you for having me.
Civil rights icon, Dr. Edwards, how are you today?
I'm doing a heck of a lot better than I deserve, I'll tell you that.
Sports commentator, Scoop Jackson.
Good to be back on with you all.
Ian Griffey Jr., how are you today, sir?
I'm good. How about you guys?
It's R&R on Sports.
R&R on Sports.
Hello, world, and welcome to R&R on Sports. My name would be Howard Robertson, and I have the misfortune of being here with, what's your name again?
Listen, brother, I am the phenomenal, the marvelous, the unimaginable, the unprecedented, and the downright terrific Larry Robinson in the house. What up, brother?
Unimaginative. That's what.
Don't be hating, bro.
That's what you meant.
Listen, man. Every week we go through this, and it's only because you have this sincere reason of drinking or habit of drinking about 10 gallons of Haterade before you get here. So listen, put the Haterade down.
I'm not, but anytime
appreciate. Don't hate. Appreciate.
No, man.
I appreciate. In the words of the great John Weatherspoon, appreciate.
I appreciate.
Don't be hating.
But I'm also trying to coordinate.
You trying to coordinate?
You
did a poor job with his outfit.
And his
on.
memory as well. I'm trying to coordinate, particularly some of the verbiage that you use in introducing and describing yourself.
Well, you know, it's only factual.
Because you just said,
just all the thing you need to say is
said,
every time I say
Jeremy,
a word,
what did he say?
adjective.
Did he say unimaginable?
Unimaginable. Yeah, you can't imagine nothing like this. You can't imagine nothing. Wasn't no mode.
Oh.
No mode. I just kind of jumped on the scene.
Okay.
But hold on. Speaking of attire and coordinating, we got an amazing show with Clarence Jones of
What does
CJ.
he do?
He's a tailor. He's a tailor. He tailors. He tailors to athletic stars, and we call this show Dressing with Giants. So I want to give a little early shout, but then I want to talk about some other apparel because I got to get me one of those Kunta Kinte shirts. Toby Kunta.
Yeah, man.
Toby Kunta.
And I'm looking forward to talking to this brother about that. Some of these cats need help from an early age. Some of them, I mean, really, because when you think about it, they are drafting kids.
Yes.
They are drafting high school
Absolutely.
kids. And if you can think about how you dressed in high school, and you don't dress like a
Not at all.
millionaire
Not
in
at
high
all.
school. So I want to talk to him about that. But anyway, we got a lot to talk about, man. It has gotten to the point now that the backstories in sports are more compelling and intriguing than what's happening on the field or the courts.
Absolutely. It's very interesting because what you're seeing across the board as far as competitive nature of sports is you're seeing some amazing work on the court. I mean, the NBA is looking phenomenal. I mean, what's happening with the Clippers and the Lakers and Houston and dude down in Dallas, Luka Doncic. I mean,
Sure.
And then you look at the NFL, you got Lamar Jackson, you got Tom Brady doing his thing.
Absolutely.
But literally, it's all these
baseball,
things.
which you tend to ignore.
Right.
But even baseball, we saw a tremendous World Series.
Absolutely. I mean, this is
Outstanding
like
World
one of the greatest times ever in sports history and time to be alive for what you're seeing on the field and on the court and whatnot. But beyond that, it's what's happening beyond the field.
Yeah.
I mean, with Colin Kaepernick, with the stuff happening with the stealing of signs with the Astros, and I mean, it's all this stuff that's going on off the field. That's really amazing.
I think we have been over the years. We are all victims of being lulled, having been lulled into a sense of naivete with regard to the real motivations, and we're going to come back and talk about.
I forgot about James Wiseman and stuff happening at the collegiate level
and the NCAA and the NFL and pro sports and all of that.
Right,
So
right.
we're going to talk more about that. We've got a phenomenal show. We want you to stay with us and get back with us on the other side of this. You're listening to R&R on Sports on the KUDZUKIAN Network. We're happy about it. Be back after this.
Hey, this is Dr. J,
This is Shaq Adocious.
Yo, what's up? This is Ice Cube.
and you're listening to a little R&R on Sports.
Welcome back. We're watching in most every sport at a very, at the highest level.
Right.
At the highest level. And
Absolutely.
arguably, we haven't seen sports performed at this level rarely, if ever.
Rarely and consistently. It's almost nightly. We have some amazing performances on the field. Lamar Jackson having 2 perfect passing games. And then you see just the level of play for a guy who was not even supposed to be able to be an NFL quarterback, wasn't smart enough to be an NBA
let's
quarterback.
talk about that for a minute. So, to what do you attribute this very high level of performance?
Oh, I think number one, don't let the slow tongue fool you, because what happens with Southern athletes or Southern people that are from the Northeast and Northwest and so on and so forth.
I know where you're going.
They think that
We
that
think
the
as
slow
think
talking
people. We think as slowly as we might speak.
Exactly. And what happens is that is confused as a lack of intelligence.
But I'm not just talking about him. I'm talking about across the board. High-level performances on the part of athletes across the board. What do you attribute that to?
Number one, I think parity has finally been achieved.
That was parody, not parroting.
No, parity. I think parity makes the competition higher. I mean, think about it. Now you have Paul George and Kawhi Leonard in Los Angeles. You have LeBron James and Davis. You have Luka Doncic and Porzingis down in Dallas. You have Jimmy Butler and the young kid Dunn playing exceptionally well in Miami. That's on the basketball side. On the football side, you having outstanding performances by Deshaun Watson. You having fantastic performances by Lamar Jackson. You got Tom Brady playing out of his mind. Mm-hmm. I mean, you have some people really, really playing at a high level and doing some amazing things.
Receivers. You got receivers.
Yeah, man, you got receivers that's catching one-hand passes.
Up balls
man,
like Hoover. Like
have they put suction cups on the balls or something?
Goodness.
Listen, man, this is R&R on Sports, and we just here to break it down and tell you what's happening on the field,
I think
but
it's
yet
something
still
else.
tell you what's going on outside of the field that is capturing our attention.
Take your time.
There you go.
Okay, so I think there's another thing that we got to look at. I think that we are seeing the results of specialization. I think that there has, for some years now, I think kids become specialists in their respective sports at a very, very young age, a lot younger than when you played, and much longer ago than when I played, because we were exposed, most of us who were athletes at the time competed in more than one sport.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
There were I'm sure you recall. Well, you were a football player, and then you left football and went to basketball.
I actually had more offers for football.
Okay.
For football.
But every season you'd get through playing football and then you go straight to basketball, right?
Right.
For me, it was
basketball
and track.
Yeah,
right?
Basketball to track. Yeah,
exactly.
Absolutely.
Now these kids, when they play basketball, they play basketball.
No. You go from AAU basketball to school basketball to back to AAU basketball, and then, I believe that's probably part of the reason we have this whole issue around load management.
My grandbaby, my grandchild is experiencing the same thing.
I mean, they play
in girls soccer. She is on the school team. They won the state championship, but she's also on
club team. She on a club team.
The club team, yes. And they play all year long.
I mean, man, think about it. These kids,
I think that's too much, man.
No, man, I'm telling you, some of these kids are playing 3 and 4 games a day, and I mean, that has to be.
How do you feel about all of the games that your son plays?
I mean, I in all honesty, I love it, because it's allowing him to be active and all that stuff.
Isn't it too much? And it increases
not too
the
much
likelihood.
because in a lot of cases,
the chance for injury. That's
it does. But I would say that it also it's something that allows them to get away from that daggone television, man. Because it's Fortnite, it's Grand Theft Auto, it's Call of Duty, it's all of those games all the time. And now you got the beautiful piece of technology that's called Netflix. And now you got a 2-3 more that's coming, Disney Plus. They making us want to stay in the house and watch TV. Especially we got these big old TVs, big 70, 80. That's cheap and about to get cheaper. So now you stay at the house and you watch television.
You can't buy them boys off the street cheaper than you can buy them out of Walmart.
I'm telling you, they've killed. Man, ain't nobody stealing no TVs here, man. Go on out to Best Buy. Even the neighborhood looter.
Right.
He's like, look, man, look. I ain't got no TVs, but look, go on out to Best Buy. They got them on sale. They got them 50 inches on sale for about $150.
Okay, so let's talk about some of these backstories. A couple of backstories.
Everybody gonna be mad at Larry Robinson for what I got to say. Mm-hmm. But here's what I got to say. I hope the kid never plays another second in any college game. This kid is a professional basketball player. He was a professional basketball player coming out of high school that had the right and should have the right to go directly to the NBA and really work on his craft. Take, for instance, if that kid was an amazing programmer in high school and sold and had this amazing software that he created, Google, Apple, and every software company in the world would have been able to hire that kid and bring him to Silicon Valley, wherever the heck they wanted to take him.
Well, why would you want him not to have the opportunity to play play for his high school coach in college and play
because he's the only one.
Why would you not want him to have that experience?
Because he's the only kid,
and
he's the only one.
Because it's going to be a pleasure.
But he's not the only one on that team. The kid Precious Achiwawa.
I get that. I get that, and I get what you're saying in terms of the skill level. But why wouldn't you want him to have that opportunity?
Not so much of that I don't want him to have the opportunity. I want this kid to go make the money that he is deserving, and he should not
that's what
risk.
He's gonna do.
But no, not necessarily. If this kid gets hurt, he's the only one that's accepting risk. He's the only. Everybody has made money. University of Memphis made money. They sold 1 million more season tickets than ever before. The daggone Penny made his money. Everybody, the merchandise people, they made their money. Only people accepted, only person that's got any risk in this whole scenario is this kid, James Wiseman.
You really mean that you hope that he doesn't get to play on the college level?
I hope there's a ruling that says he cannot play this year and that he has to go pro. Because I think immediately he would either go to the G League or he would go to Australia or one of these, and he would start working on his craft.
But he would not have the opportunity or the chance
to play for free, to be an indentured servant,
to win a national championship or whatever.
What the heck does that mean?
These kids love to play. He loved to play,
like but just wait a minute. He loved to play, but he wanted to play with the best in the world. This kid is playing B-League ball. This kid is a pro. Listen to me when I tell you. This is Kevin Garnett with a jumper and runs like a deer and has a 40-inch vertical.
That's fine.
And it's 7'1". This kid is not a college player on any level. Neither is Pressure Achiwawa.
Here's what I will maintain.
And I don't mean any disrespect to Precious and his family. I just haven't practiced on pronouncing the name correctly.
Given their druthers, if you ask them, what would you like to do?
They're kids. They're kids.
They are grown-ass men.
No, they're not. They're not. They're 18 and 19 years old.
Like they don't know what they want?
Listen, these kids want to play pro. Let me say this. Let me ask you this. Would he play for University of Memphis if he had an opportunity? If he had an opportunity to go to the league and make $10 million a year, do you think he would ever touch the daggone soil of the University of Memphis campus?
If worms carried machine guns, birds wouldn't touch him.
the heck does that mean? See, that's some old country. See, that's why people in the South are not getting the props they deserve because of stuff like that. If worms had machine guns, if pigs had wings, all that kind of crazy talk. Listen, man, we're talking about a kid who is a multimillionaire in waiting, but they delaying it so that this whole industry gets to make money off this kid.
Hate the rule. Don't hate the player.
No, I'm not hating the player.
No.
I want this kid. I guarantee you, if James was sitting right here, I'd be like, James, do you want to play in the NCAA and win a national championship, or would you rather be playing next to the best players in the world in the NBA? Would you rather be accepting a loop from Luka Doncic or a loop from what's the kid Alo? Okay. No, he gonna say Luka Doncic. He gonna say I'd rather be accepting a loop from Magic Johnson. Not Magic Johnson, but LeBron James.
Let's transition.
Okay, what we transitioning to?
Transition to Colin Kaepernick.
Man, that was very soothing.
Colin Kaepernick.
Kunta. I'm Kunta.
And we don't have much time.
No, man. I think it's a travesty, and I appreciate what the brother was able to do. He was able to get his workout in without having to sign away his rights to the NFL. The NFL is an egregious, horrible organization that was trying to silence this young man. And for other sportscasters to sit back and talk about this man because he didn't take this pimp slap from this move from the NFL, I think it's atrocious. Colin Kaepernick, kudos to you. Because literally, man, because his brother still was able to finagle his way into having a phenomenal workout, letting everybody see it, while still maintaining his dignity and his rights.
And I am glad that he did. I'm happy that he did. Now, what I think is crazy is that he or anybody around him or anybody else would think that the NFL was not going to slide that release in front of him, saying that he would not sue them yet again.
Right.
They would be less than business people to not to give him that. Now, he didn't sign it and whatnot, and that was up to him.
Right.
And that is probably that in and of itself, not the tryout, but that's probably going to be the deal, because they are not going to set themselves up to be sued yet again.
Well, I mean, I can agree with that, but all I say is this.
I don't blame him.
The cat should be on a roster.
I agree.
And he will be. And he will be on a roster.
We got
that bet. We got that bet.
We do.
We got that bet.
We do.
I don't think the workout has happened. He don't need everybody see what he can do now. It's like, come on in, let me see what you can do under our situation.
No. You still playing in
yeah, but he ain't going.
You still got to sign.
Not with the individual teams.
Oh, how naive are we?
Listen. I wouldn't be surprised if he's wearing the black and gold. I wouldn't be surprised if he's let me see. Yeah. I'm trying to think of where else might he end up. Chicago.
And if he is,
Chicago,
his
I think
signature
is awesome.
His signature going to be on the bottom of
I bet you be after he signed his contract.
Hey, man.
All right, then.
Okay.
Right.
So, fantastic show here on R&R. We're coming back on the other side.
No, we got Clarence Jones.
That's what I was about to say.
We got Clarence Jones. Clarence Jones.
Who you got, Johnson or Jones?
Jones. We got Clarence Jones, CJ Custom Clothing, and we're going to have him bring you a suit and some shirts and some pants and some socks so you can get out of this stuff, man. Listen, you cannot
back, man.
You cannot keep dressing from Kmart and JCPenney's and carrying on.
Say we'll be back after this.
We'll be back after this.
Riffin' on jazz.
When two friends get together to kick it
about jazz, it's called Riffin' on Jazz.
Catch us riffing on jazz every week right here on your favorite broadcast or podcast platforms.
Riffin' on jazz on the KUDZUKIAN Network. KUDZUKIAN!
Welcome back to the little boy with the high-pitched voice. He wants to sound like Diana Ross. he said off mic. Y'all didn't hear that.
No, it was like Diana Ross. Not I want to sound like. It was like Diana Ross.
I thought you said you wanted to be like
no.
Diana
See, now
Ross.
there you go. Didn't see you started.
Some deep here, Larry.
No, ain't nothing deep there, brother.
Welcome.
You making up some
well, we
stuff.
opening up.
You kind of like.
We opening up.
You got a vivid imagination.
Did she do a song called "I'm Coming Out"?
That was Donna Summers, man.
No, it wasn't. Anyway, only the best guest here on our own sports, and today is no different. We have owner and entrepreneur of CJ's Custom Clothiers, who dresses giants, literally, quite literally. Brother CJ Jones, Clarence Jones, I should say. Welcome to R&R on Sports.
Appreciate Howard and Larry having me on your show today.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for coming.
Wow.
Totally. So, you are in the custom clothing business.
Correct.
But you did not start out going in that direction. You started out feeling very, very confidently that shooting jump shots was going to be your way to make a living. Am I wrong?
You're absolutely correct.
All right. South side of Chicago. Talk about it. Talk about who you used to hang with and all of that.
Well, growing up, I played basketball at Martin Luther King High School. I went to Simeon first, then I transferred to King High School.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Tim Hardaway is one of my best friends. Also, Arnie Duncan, who used to be the former secretary.
Tim ain't no giant.
No, Tim. You know what? That crossover is nothing.
Yeah.
But you know what's funny?
Giant in stature.
There you go.
Stature.
Well, he's been doing the same crossover since he was in about the 5th or 6th grade.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And so me, him, Arnie Duncan, who's former secretary of education.
Arnie can't hoop,
Who could
man.
ball?
Oh yeah,
Arnie
Arnie could play some basketball.
Really?
Arnie was good. So I kind of grew up with a lot of them guys.
Didn't he used to play with Obama? Didn't they
Yes.
used to play?
Yeah,
and they still do. They still do.
Wow.
Okay.
And so I kind of grew up with them guys. Also, Ramsey Lewis's children, Walt Frazier's kids. We all grew up in the same neighborhood.
Oh,
Wow.
cool. Okay.
And so, I kind of moved to Memphis later on in life and played high school basketball here for Manassas for 1 year.
Okay.
Then I went to service,
Wait a
came
minute,
back.
man. You had Simeon.
King, yep.
King,
I transferred.
then came to Memphis.
My mother sent me here my senior year of high school.
And you played at Manassas.
I played 1 year at Manassas.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right.
And, went to college at Lamar on, went to the service.
Okay.
Always been a guy that could dress. My mom dressed me Saks Fifth Avenue, Marshall Fields,
Okay.
different places.
Okay.
As a kid growing
All right.
up. So I've always been in.
Y'all slummed in terms of shopping, didn't you?
There you go. So, I thank my mom for that, So
So how did you start making clothes? That's not, you ain't going to school. You ain't going, I don't think there's a degree in that over in
no,
Lamar.
I took sewing classes.
Okay.
In 8th grade, 9th grade.
Okay.
So it was cool.
Wait a minute, you went to the service and everything.
Been to the service and everything.
Okay.
Always been a dresser. I always loved dress.
Okay.
Nice
so
clothes.
when did you say, okay, listen, I'm gonna hang my own shingle?
You know what was funny? I was at Lamar in college.
Okay.
Playing for Coach Johnson over there. Went in there, met with the president one day, was talking to him, and he had a monogram shirt on.
Okay.
And I was like, what's that? What kind of shirt is that? He said, it's custom made. Stuck his chest out. I said, how much? He told me how much it was. I said, well, I'm wearing Hugo Boss and Armani.
Oh, wow.
So I'm paying twice for what he was paying for one.
Okay.
So I said, who do your shirts? And
How was your grades that semester?
actually, I had a 3.2.
I thought they might have, helped you just on after school after you insulted the president.
I didn't mean to. I was young, and I was just, he always looked at how I dressed, and he always asked me. He said, "Man, you dress sharp." I was like, well, yeah.
Okay, so when did you get to the point you said, okay, I'm gonna get my own shop?
Well,
I start selling the folk.
Well, actually, what happened was I met with a guy named Nico Perkins.
Okay.
That's how I got started.
Okay.
Nico made some shirts for me.
Okay.
And we kind of built a relationship.
Uh-huh.
And then I went to Chicago and I saw Tim.
Okay.
For around his birthday, and I asked him. I said, "Tim, you get your shirts and stuff made?" He said, "Yeah, Mook, I get my clothes made." And I said, "Let me show you some." So I showed him a couple of custom made shirts I had, and he said, "Man, these shirts are better than the ones I get that I already get made."
Right.
I was like, "Wow, really?" So I paged Nico. That's when they had pagers. Nico hits me back. He was like, "Well, hey, I said, I got a guy who wants to get some shirts." He said, "Who?" I said, "Tim Hardaway." He's like, "Yeah, right." I give Tim the phone. He thought I was kidding. It was Tim Hardaway for real. And so Nico was like, "I'm not coming to Chicago." I was like, "Oh, wow." So what Nico did, he sent me to a Walgreens or a hardware store to buy a tape measure.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Nico walked me through the measurements over the phone.
So Tim Hardaway literally became your first.
Was your first client?
One of my first one.
Hold on, see, listen,
first big client.
Hold on. This is what happens on R&R. You get these inside nuggets. First of all, you find out that Arnie Duncan really got game. Then you come back and you get Tim Hardaway had a crazy crossover in the 5th and 6th grade. See, R&R, come on back. We here with Clarence Jones, CJ Custom Clothiers. Bro, break it down. Go ahead.
All right. So then after Nico walks me through all the measurements,
Okay.
I said, Tim, I'm going to give you a couple of shirts for your birthday. Got back to Memphis, gave Nico the measurements, sent Tim the shirts, and I didn't hear from Tim. So I'm thinking something wrong. So I hit him up for Christmas. I said, well, Tim, how was the shirts? Man, them the best shirts I've ever had. Man, Spreewell, all these guys on the team want to get some shirts. I said, oh, really? He said, I want to get some more. They were going to Atlanta to play on Christmas Day. That day, I was like, well, man, I don't know if I can get to Atlanta. Let me call Nico. Called Nico. Nico said he wasn't working during the Christmas holidays.
Okay.
So he said, well, can you come? I said, well, I can come to Atlanta. I called Nico back, told him I was going to go to Atlanta. Nico had me come pick up the swatch kits.
Okay.
And gave me the prices. Since we already had the measurements, everything was good.
Right.
So Tim said, I want you to meet me at the strip club there. I was like,
so you was measuring shirts at Magic City?
There we go, Magic City. So this is what happened. So I said,
too much information.
well, this is going to be. I just want you to laugh now. At this time, I was married. So I said, well, I can meet you at Magic City. It's a club. I can meet you there. My wife looking at me all crazy at the time. Like, you can't go to Magic City. I said, why not? She said, Magic City is a strip club. I said, oh, I didn't know.
Oh.
So I had to call Tim back.
My bad.
I said, Tim, I can't meet you at Magic City. So him and his wife laughing at me. So anyway, I get to Atlanta, sat with Tim. Tim orders like 25 custom shirts from me.
Wow.
That's how I got started.
So talk about a couple of things. So that's how you started with professional athletes and whatnot.
Yes.
So let's talk about these kids. Let's talk about the transition. We talked about this a little bit earlier off mic. Let's talk about the transition from how you helped them transition from dressing like a schoolboy to dressing like a millionaire athlete.
Well,
and talk about how you counsel them in terms of that.
Well, normally what I do with those young men is this. I meet the parents.
Okay.
I meet the young man. And sometimes if they have an agent, I meet the agent. And the agent said, this is the guy. He's the best in the business. This is who you want to deal with.
So the agent has to give you that vote of approval.
Yes, unless I get a young man on my own, because I do my own recruiting.
Okay.
I go out. I make my own ways with parents and everything. So normally what I do is I sit down with a young man. We talk about what he likes.
Okay.
So he gives me some colors, because I always ask him, what's your favorite color? These guys tell me what they like. And I say, well, do you have pictures? Do you have anything in particular you see? Well,
right.
They see who they see on TV. And so that's who they pretty much want to mimic.
Okay.
And so what I try to do is let them know, well, if we can wear that for this particular venue, I never tell them, no, they can't. But I always say, let's come back around to that.
Okay.
Because first of all, you got to be professional.
Okay.
So the fitted look is in,
right?
But always let them know you can't wear a paisley jacket and pants going to meet with an owner or a GM.
But wait a minute. Here's an issue that I want you to address. For most young, new athletes, their coming out party is the draft.
Right. Yes.
And for most, that's when they're going to be exposed on a very, very wide and broad level to the world.
Yes.
Okay. And also, for too many, they don't look good.
No, that's
to me.
Well, that's because
talk about that, because they need some counseling
before
that day, because some of them look a mess.
Yeah. Well, what happens a lot of times when they get with agents, when the agents bring them to somebody that they use, other people are normally telling, oh, it's okay to wear that. And it's really not.
Okay.
And they get up there and look like a clown.
Other people.
Absolutely.
Right.
Other people that make clothes, like myself, they do not educate these guys. They just want to make the money. I'm going to give a good one. I saw Ja Morant for the draft. I actually had him. It was between me and another tailor.
Okay.
And because a friend of mine was in the hospital, had cancer, I was helping her.
Okay.
And so I missed the call.
Okay.
So when I finally get the call back, it was like, well, CJ.
So you didn't dress T. You didn't give him. set him out in the pimp hat and all?
No. So, the guy said they were going in a different direction. And so he comes out. He has this purple pinstripe suit on with the same color shirt. Nobody wears that anymore. That's what you did back in the 80s.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, the color would have been fine if he had something a little bit more different.
Okay.
And because the guy who dressed him was only concerned about making how much money he can make versus letting him or educating him on what he should be wearing when you walk across the stage. Hold on. Listen.
You're about to go to break, but we're going to come back with my man Clarence Jones of CJ's Custom Clothiers. And then when we come back, I'm going to spring the question on him. What would you do with Russell Westbrook? If Russell Westbrook came in and said, help me out, get me right. So listen, in order to hear that, you gotta stay tuned, gotta come on back.
My name is Michael Eric Dyson, and you're listening to R&R on Sports.
Hello, I'm Howard Robertson.
And I am the fantastic, the amazing, the phenomenal Larry Robinson.
With your show, R&R on Sports, every Saturday morning right here on the Sports Byline Network. With only the up-to-date commentary every Saturday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific on the Sports Byline Network.
R&R on Sports. Part of the KUDZUKIAN Network.
Back with more R&R on Sports with Brother Clarence Jones, owner of CJ Custom Clothiers, and we are talking about dressing giants.
So you got these people that can't dress. Like, we ain't going to talk about my partner here. But you got other individual like NBA player Russell Westbrook. James Harden is another one. You got some cats that really are kind of.
What are you saying?
On the
bleeding
edge.
They can't dress.
They're on the bleeding edge of
saying,
fashion and creativity.
Be plain.
But
be clear.
But no, they just dress a little different. Now
they got the same. They got the same stylist. I'm just gonna say it. And so, they got the same stylist.
So all I want to know,
okay.
CJ, all I want to know is if Russell Westbrook gave you a call and said, "Listen, man, I'm ready to be more." Dress more in line with what would be expected of me being a all-star point guard in the NBA. What would you advise him?
Well, first of all, I met Russell Westbrook.
Okay.
His rookie, him, Kevin Durant. I had a friend that played with him in Oklahoma City.
Okay.
So, I really couldn't tell you about Russell as far as that, but he's a great guy.
Uh-huh.
But what happens is they all got the same style. They all go to the same person.
Really?
Their agents steer them to the same person. And so sometimes.
Where Dwayne Wade? I know Dwayne Wade ain't dressed by the same folks as Russell Westbrook.
I want to say, Joanna. She's good. Joanna's one of the best out there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's out there. She's got her own company called Alba. She's really good. But she lets them guys dress any way they want. And so with them, it's all about how much money they can make instead of being honest with them. I mean, you'll see that even in the NBA draft. You saw them guys. This was probably one of the worst dressed drafts I've ever seen in a long time.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And I've had NBA best dressed
hating a little
3 times. No. I've had NBA
CJ.
and NFL best dressed 3 times.
Because you decided to check this one out, man. Don't be hating on the brothers. Don't be hating on Joanna. Joanna got to make a great money too.
I'm not mad at Joanna. I'm not mad at her.
In respect to John Witherspoon,
no.
Joanna's got to make money too.
But some of that stuff,
Joanna need to learn how to coordinate.
But you know what? You have all these people that think they know how to put clothes on people, and they let these guys wear anything they want to wear.
Well, yes.
And they think it looks good, and it doesn't.
And I think that's the beginning. Oh, I don't know if you will agree or not, but I think that might be the beginning of what ends up being a long-term effect, and that is not having somebody that will tell you,
no,
man, you look like hell.
They're not going to do that.
That does not go. And with what these guys are and what their status and whatnot, there are too few people that will tell them.
So they ain't got no real friends.
They ain't got, not that'll tell you, man, you must be crazy. Take that off.
Then you should be glad you on this show with me, because I tell you every week. I be telling you, bro, dude, take that off. Don't do that.
I wish we were on TV. I wish we were on TV.
See what I got to deal with?
No. My question is to you. Hush. My question is to Clarence. So is that a condition that you have to deal with? They don't have anybody to tell them no. They don't have anybody to tell them that will tell them the truth as opposed to what they want to hear.
That is absolutely correct. But the funny thing is, all the guys I've dealt with, from Donovan Mitchell, Malik Beasley, Mason Plumlee, and so forth, for the draft.
That's white ball players too.
I'm probably the only minority guy that's dressed a white guy for a draft.
Okay.
And I have all the Mason, the Plumlee brothers, Miles, all of them. I knew them when they first went to Duke.
Okay.
You know, I made the clothes that they wore when they went to the White House and they won the national championship.
Fantastic. Did Duke pay for it?
No, they actually, you know what? They mother paid. They mother and father got money.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I was referred to them, so their mom pays me.
Okay, so let me ask you this: you got a cat that really has probably never had a suit before,
and that's most of them.
Okay, so they're coming up on the draft.
Most of them doesn't have a suit. A lot of these guys have never had a suit because they can't. The reason why the guys they don't like suits is because they can't find one that fits them.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the biggest issues I've had. Like I did some clothes for Deron Payne.
So hold on, wait a minute. Let me get back to my question.
Go right to the question.
So listen, because when we get on R&R, we got to get to the
Let's get to it.
So when a guy never has had a suit before, he's only seen what he's seen on television, with whether it be on NBA Live or any of the other stuff. How do you get them to understand that there is a time and a place for each type of outfit or attire?
Well, that's when you sit down and you educate them. You know, you have to educate these young men because they don't know. Okay. But the more that you educate them, like I tell them, like when I walk in, I say, you should have on, this is what you wear when you go to a business meeting. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. This is what you can wear to the draft. Okay. This is what you wear when you hang out with your friends. Okay. So all different events like BET Awards. Now, if you want to wear that to the BET Awards, we can do that because that's what it's for, BET. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Any of those awards, you can wear that. Okay. And so, you know, once we sit and talk and they understand what I do, you know, they have their vote of confidence with me.
How much do you get into the everything, the hair, the nails?
Well, I tell them all the time. That? Yeah, I tell them, you got to get your nails done. You know, they laugh a little bit because a lot of them has never had it done. Mm-hmm. But I said, you got to realize when you shake people's hands, they look at your hands. Okay. And so these young men, you know, they understand. As we go, it's a growing process.
Okay, so it's an evolution.
Yes. So I don't just say, okay, you got to do this, and I pound them, or I tell them, no. I always educate them enough that this is the type of outfit you wear for this event, or you wear this for that event. You need a tuxedo. Every man's supposed to have a tuxedo in their closet. Mm-hmm. Okay. And so when them guys get ready for events, and they be only worse than their girls. Mm-hmm. They be like, hey man, I need to get this. You know what to do. You know, now all I do is I pretty much pick all my guys' clothes.
So much of this ties into exposures.
Yes.
And that's part of the thing that I don't think overall we do exceptionally well with our young athletes. I don't think that there's nearly enough counsel in terms of trying to overcome that lack of exposure that they got in the first half of their lives. And now all of these exposures are new because they got money and they got status, mm-hmm. and they got all of this stuff. So people are going to be looking at them with a much, much more critical eye in terms of being appropriate, in terms of their dress, in terms of their actions, and all of that. And so it seems to me that you hold the key to the exposures too, because somebody got it, again, back to the original thing, telling them what they need to hear. Somebody got to tell them.
Well, in this business,
somebody got to school them.
Right. Well, what happens a lot of times, a lot of people are afraid to tell these guys that don't look good.
I'm sure.
Because they don't want to lose the business.
I'm sure.
But with me, I tell them all the time, you know, I'm going to make money regardless, you know, so my thing is honesty with them. Right. You know, and once I build the trust with them and I'm honest with them, these guys learn to listen to me. Do you know most of my guys will call me on the phone and say, what do I need to wear on Sunday? You know what I'm saying? I was making clothes for Kerry Rose with the Jets. Mm-hmm. And when he got in, I would tell him every Sunday, I would put his stuff in a garment bag. It'd be grammatical, so he'll know exactly what outfits to wear and how to wear them.
You done told the brother to dress the purple with the purple giraffe.
Man, no.
Can't put a hippo with a giraffe.
No,
man.
well, I'm just saying you almost have to put it together because that's what they see.
Right.
So a lot of my guys, I would put all like 10 suits. They order 10 suits at a time.
Okay, hold on.
Go ahead.
Wait. Who's the best dressed in the NBA right now? Best dressed.
You know what? I would probably say LeBron.
Really?
Yeah. LeBron dresses very nice.
Okay.
He dresses, if you look at him, you look at Michael Jordan. because that's how Jordan dressed. Real nice, conservative.
Wait a minute,
always
Jordan
clean.
be wearing zoot suits and carrying.
Well, no, that was back then. I'm saying.
Come on, man. Jordan ain't pimping,
then.
man. Jordan's gear ain't pimping right now, man.
Well,
now ain't not talking about.
I'm just saying. Then at that time, he was the guy.
Oh, okay. I
look at LeBron the same way because LeBron,
he's
to
a
me,
trendsetter.
well, not only that, but he dresses like he's a businessman.
And
that's what's important.
He shouldn't have qualified. His question was not a good one. He shouldn't have qualified just NBA. Who, in your opinion, is the best dressed in professional sports?
It's you know what? It's hard to say. I mean, because you got a lot of them who dress.
Who were some of the best dressed in?
Well,
who
like
stands
I said,
out?
I don't really watch them as much as I used to. You know, because
Well,
I'm so busy.
Who gets your attention? Who?
Well, like I said, I like
who you pay
LeBron.
attention?
I like LeBron. He's one.
Okay.
Damian Lillard dresses well.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna tell you who dresses really nice in my opinion, and that's C.J. McCollum, the guard for Portland.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now every time I
he's
see,
really polished.
every time I see him, he always on point.
Beautiful.
And the guy who makes his clothes is a guy out of Atlanta.
Okay.
So I mean, you see a few of these guys, you know, especially playoff time. That's when you see most of the guys really dressed when it's playoff.
Including yourself, how many major players, not players, but players in the fashion aspect are there out there? 5, 10, more?
It's more.
Okay.
Whole lot more.
Okay, now listen,
because everybody's getting into it.
Okay.
And a lot of them can't even dress.
Artificial intelligence is really innovating a lot of different industries. I could really see artificial intelligence innovating the clothing and style industry. How do you see the industry evolving with technology playing such a role? And you got like My Suit, you got all these online deals that could literally you could do for far less money. So how do you see the industry evolving?
Well, when you go online and buy those suits, you got what they do a lot of times. They're trying to teach you how to take a measurement. Mm-hmm. It don't happen because they don't fit good. And guys are going there and buy these $299. Those not custom-made suits, man. That's made to measure. That's a suit you buying off the rack. You basically giving them your size.
Okay.
When you get a custom-made suit, a guy's taking all your measurements, breaking it down, showing you different fabrics.
Okay.
That's a custom-made suit.
Is that what makes it bespoke? Would something online be bespoke?
No,
versus?
no.
Okay.
Bespoke is all hand. When you're doing a handmade garment, like this suit's a handmade garment.
Okay.
It takes 50 hours just to do a handmade jacket. So you're not going online and you're going to find somebody that's going to do a bespoke jacket. No, it's more made to measure. It's more like you going to James Davis and buying a suit off the rack, and you're just saying I'm a size 42, but you're getting the different variations.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. And James Davis, is that more like a suit retailer?
Oh, yeah. James Davis, one of the premier stores here.
Okay.
Oak Hall is also. I mean, those are probably
those
two
are the
top.
Type of, like
those are the
type of stores.
Right. Those are the top
that
two
have
stores.
Kind of high end suits and whatnot.
No doubt. And they do custom.
Okay.
But they do more made to measure.
Okay. So what would a player or an athlete get with you versus something like Oak Hall or some other entity?
Well, number one, with me, you get a full bespoke hand suit, fully handmade suit. But the thing is, I can do different variations where they can't.
Okay.
They're limited to do what I can do with a suit. They don't make 3x6. I do. I can make a 2x4. They may be able to do it.
Okay.
You know, but the thing is a customer service. You know, when
so
I go see a guy,
piece.
I go to my guy's house 10, 11 o'clock at night. You know, making deliveries, fitting people up.
Okay.
And then you don't have to worry about us having the same kind of suit on.
And Larry's going to want to talk to you after the show about a new suit he wants with that red and white check tablecloth fabric. He wants a whole suit like that.
Oh, gingham. He wants a gingham. He wants a gingham.
Gingham. I like that, with a solid red vest. Because it was for him to wear home when he goes back to Kentucky. CJ, we've been thrilled, man, to have you here on R&R on Sports, and we appreciate you being here. And we always ask, look, you have such an interesting and unique perspective on sports and the people and whatnot. We're going to ask you if you'd agree to come back at some future point.
Anytime.
On the show.
Anytime.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
R&R on Sports you've been listening to, and you're still listening to. We hope you stay with us. We'll be back for more after this.
This is Dr. J. You're listening to a little R&R on Sports.
I love games, board games, comics, beautiful things that portray black girls as soft and whimsical and cotton candy flowers. And so that is what I bring to the show, as well as cuss words for these raggedy when they need them.
Oh my goodness.
Such as this raggedy that we getting ready to introduce you to right now.
Oh my
This red
goodness.
fox looking, this bald head, confident talking about Richard Douglas Jones.
My goodness, this is the worst intro I've ever had in my life, ladies and gentlemen. Black Nerd Power on the KUDZUKIAN Network.
Back with more R&R on Sports. Before we hit the door,
peace.
And so,
Arrivederci.
I talked a little earlier
Auf Wiedersehen.
about
yeah, baby. See you, ma. 5,000. What's wrong, man? Come on, man. You
don't lose your head. Use your head, man.
So listen, man. Listen. I want to give a special shout out to Tiger Woods, who basically tied the record for most major wins. I also want to. Most PGA titles, man. In addition to that, I want to shout out my man LeBron James, who first to achieve 30 triple doubles against all 30 different teams in the NBA. Anything else? What you got over there?
LeBron. Shout out LeBron too. What did I hear that he's doing?
Some transitional housing. Transitional housing
in Akron
for students, for the family of students that is charter school.
What I love about what he is doing is not just the money that he is putting in. What I'm loving about it is the thought. What I'm loving about it is the imagination, the creativity that he is applying in terms of resolving and solving a lot of challenges that people have in his hometown. I love that.
I also want to give another shout out to my man, our frat brother Colin Kaepernick, for literally not being used, not being punked, and standing for something, so you won't fall for anything. So you won't fall. So you ain't got to worry about it because Colin went through it.
The explorer, the pioneer.
That's his modern day Muhammad Ali, man. He got 3 years now. He's going on his 3rd year, like Muhammad Ali. We might be watching the creation. It'll be a Disney movie about him when we get. Well, you won't be here, but when I'm older,
I'm gonna live forever. I am gonna live forever. We appreciate you being here with us yet again, and we don't take it for granted. Please do 2 things for us. Talk about us. Tell your friends about us.
Absolutely. Rate and subscribe.
Absolutely. Rate and subscribe. And keep listening. Keep listening.
And all of that, download the KUDZUKIAN app at the App Store or on Google Play. Or you can just check us out on any of the major platforms, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spotify, Pandora. We all over the place.
And we thank y'all for good numbers. Y'all
man, we've been killing it, man. iHeart and TuneIn, man. Y'all really killing it over there.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank y'all. More R&R on Sports next week. Same time, same place. I'm Howard Robertson.
And I am the fabulous one, Larry Robinson.
Be back with us. Peace.
Ciao. You've been listening to a little R&R on Sports, written and produced by Howard Robertson, Larry Robinson, recorded and mixed in Memphis, Tennessee.